Okay. Theodore Roosevelt and American diplomacy. All right. Now to start this whole thing off, in 1880, the ruler of Turkey decided to close his missions in some of the minor countries. These are like his embassies. And the minor countries included like Sweden, Belgium, and oh yeah, the United States of America. But within a few short years, America would join the power broker nations of England and France, almost equaling the productive capabilities of Britain, all within a few short years. Now, our diplomacy after the Civil War. Now, guys, at the end of the Civil War, we had the largest and best trained army in the world. But we had very little concern for foreign affairs. Basically, we wanted to focus on domestic issues. Now, guys, why do you think America wanted to focus on domestic issues? Because, guys, we almost destroyed the American experiment and the Civil War. No one can kill an American like an American. More than 500,000 dead. Okay? We want to stop, focus on ourselves, heal our stuff. Hopefully, none of y'all will ever have to go through a divorce or anything like that. But if you get close and the family know we're going to make this thing work, and it's a different dynamic, and you want to focus on helping the family and fixing the problems. Now, basically, there was free security for America, and attached to the Monroe Doctrine, when in 1861, France, Spain, and Britain all invade Mexico, putting their armies there saying, hey, you better pay us those loans back. And Mexico goes ahead and pays the loans back. When Mexico pays the loans back, Spain leaves, Britain leaves, but France and the troops stay. And they install their own Austrian duke by the name of Maximilian to become the emperor of Mexico, which kind of breaks our Monroe Doctrine. But guys, we're in the middle of a civil war, and as the Civil War is coming to an end, that's when we tell France, oh, hi, now that we can focus our attention on you, you might want to leave Mexico. And France said, okay, gotcha. They go and they take out, but they leave Maximilian there, and he's later captured and executed by his own people. Oh, man. The reaction to the purchase of Alaska. In 1867, the Russian minister to the U.S. tells the Secretary of State, William H. Seward, that Tsar Alexander II would get rid of his North American territory if the price is right. And in 1868, we purchased it for $7.2 million. Or 2.5 cents an acre for land that's twice the size of Texas. And guys, even though within the next 50 years, we would make almost $700 million off of Alaska, at that time, they called it Seward's Folly. You just bought it. You bought wasteland. Can't believe spending our money. Seward wanted to secure a naval base in Santo Domingo and by part of the Danish West Indies. Both failed to win support. In 1870, Santo Domingo even threw themselves at America's feet, saying, "Annex us," but it fails to win the 2/3 support in Senate, ends in an even tie of 28 to 28. But we add a new corollary to the Monroe Doctrine that says, okay, even though we don't want you, nobody else can have you. Basically, no European power can take that. Oh, man. Now, where are we getting a little bit more interested? Well, that's in the Pacific. In 1844, we signed a treaty with China, giving us the most favored nation status, where, hey, most favored nation means we give you the lowest tariffs, and in return you give us the lowest tariffs. That passes, and we push for an open door policy, and China, they'll accept more countries trading with them. And in 1854, Americans under Commodore Matthew Perry pushes their gunboats into Japan, which had historically been isolationistic, and basically we force, with our gunboats, our way into Tokyo Harbor. And we forced them to open up their ports to foreign trade. Now guys, this is back when Japan was still in the shogunate. So it was still a very feudal society. We gave them a model about 2 feet big, the steam engine. It was a little, and the steam engine actually worked. And we gave them the track, and then, ooh. And guys, we gave that to them and left. Well, the Japanese took that model, re-engineered it, built it on a large scale, and basically came out with Mikado, which was one of the strongest torqued railroad engines in like almost no time. And they start going through, like I said, it's called the Meiji Restoration. They start going through huge and incredible changes in their society, trying to modernize. In Hawaii, in 1842, Tyler said we wouldn't allow any other nation to claim it. And by 1874, King Kaluka ascends to the throne, and he was the first monarch to visit the U.S. in 1874. And basically, we worked out a sugar trade agreement, where basically we're not going to charge high tariffs on sugar coming from them. This results in a boom in sugar growing. So you have tons of money flooding into Hawaii as well as American immigrants. And you have some American families that had been missionary that decide, you know what? There's a lot more money in growing stuff than there is in missionary work. Anybody know the name of this missionary family? Huh? I might have seen it on a pineapple. Dole. And in 1877, Americans in Hawaii forced the king to grant a constitutional government. But of course, the money also totally corrupts, because by 1887, the king was caught receiving bribes from opium sales. But as he worked for us, we just let it slide, kind of forget it. Ready? New expansion.